Yes, we just finished with a meeting with the EC right now at their head office, and it has to do with the printing of the notices of pool. They've got a sample for leadership of political parties and candidates to verify. I mean, and be sure that everything is set. We'll sign off on it, and then they can now proceed with the printing of the notices of poll. This was what we indicated to them yesterday at the meeting when they called that their board meeting. We described as board meeting because that meeting was not supposed to be for party agents. You can't just proceed with issues like that of ballot papers printing and then notices of poll and invite party agents and expect them to take decision on behalf of the parties. That's not the case. And that we made it clear to them that we will not accept that, and that's why they called the meeting today. So we went and signed the notice of poll for them. Some two parties had issues with their symbols and colors, so they will rectify that one and then proceed with the printing of the notices of poll. We have no problem with that. We have problem with them over the ballot papers, of which they came out today and clarified. And instead of them to be magnanimous in accepting that they made an error and apologize to Ghanaians, because the NDC, our eagle eyes, caught them yesterday on that matter. And then you see them with their own propaganda ways again, trying to insinuate that some party or some group of people are saying that they are going to print ballot papers. They are not printing ballot papers. They are only printing statement of who. Dear, have you read their letter that invited our agent yesterday? Their letter was asking that they should come. We are going to start printing of notices of poll and ballot papers. That's what they were trying to do.
Dr.
We had
Tanko,
to stop them.
isn't it enough that the EC has clarified?
That's why I'm saying that if we hadn't pushed them, if we hadn't pushed them, and if our national chairman, the General Mosquito, if he hadn't issued a threat yesterday through his press conference, and a letter written by our general secretary to them, clarifying that we needed to have the ballot statistics and the register before they can proceed with the ballot printing. Do you think these people would have clarified this thing? They wanted to go ahead and do the printing.
Dr. Zanko, it seems like every decision the EC has taken, it has had to take you and the NDC to steer them on the right direction.
Because of course, that's why you need to congratulate NDC. We are protecting the democracy of Ghana. And everybody should congratulate NDC, led by John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. Otherwise, you see the path this EC, they were cruising. Dangerous path. They would have thrown the country into anarchy. But we had to always correct them and stop them and bring them back to the right path. And so Ghanaians should be thankful that the NDC, our eagle eyes, is helping shape our electoral system. And we will continue to do that until we get out the MPP from office come December 7th.
So yeah, well, Dr. Tanko, so when you went to sign your notice of poll, everything you expected is there and is right. We will not hear of any other developments where things didn't go as you wanted.
Yes. When I was signing, I took pictures of what I've signed. And I know my symbol. I've looked at it. I've looked at the arrangement of my candidate name, John Dramani Mahama. And I've took notice of his picture too. That was what we presented to them before I signed. And so if they go and do anything outside what I've signed, we will not take it. And they know it. Our opponents also came and signed. All the other political parties, they were present. Only two parties had issues with their symbols. And I'm sure they will correct that one for them.
Dr. Sanko, a group called Election Watch Ghana have submitted an RTI request requesting of some information from the EC about the contract bidding and all of other things. Do you think that it is the step in the right direction at this time of the year?
Well, that is their democratic right to do. I mean, we didn't pass the RTI law to gather dust. We passed it for implementation. And then so if people are testing it by applying through the RTI Commission to have information about procurement processes and electoral commission, well, intention, why not? It's their Ghanaians, they are taxpayers as well. And then it is within their democratic right to do that. We will not stampede them. That is not the duty of political parties to be asking the electoral commission on these issues. But if civil society individuals think that, look, the way these people have selected the 8 printing houses, we want to find out what procedure did they take before appointing them to or engaging them to do the printing of the ballot papers and notices of poll. So it's within their rights to do that.
Dr. Tanko, is NDC okay with that on that side? 8 printing houses have been selected to do the printing. Is NDC okay? Is NDC does NDC feel that those 8 printing houses are good enough to do the printing?
Well, let them start. That's why we are deploying our party agents. We have trained our agents and supervisors, and that is why we are demanding the statistics. If we get the ballot statistics, even you can bring the devil to come and print. We don't care. We will monitor it. The devil cannot print outside the statistics. That is why we are looking for it. Because when we have the statistics, I know the number you can print in your printing house, the quantum. So if you print more than that, then you know that you are going to have issues with me. Certainly. That is why we are asking them, bring us the statistics. Let us have the statistics, the voter statistics and all that. Then we can now go ahead with the printing. In that case, it makes it easier for us. Even if you go and bring devil to come and print, we know the quantity he's going to print. So he can't print more than that. Unlike previously, they were just doing it by hand printing with our statistics and all that. That thing will not happen. And so the only thing is that we are telling them, the printing houses, they should know that this year, the NDC they are dealing with, we have eagle eyes. Our eyes are wide open. If they print more than even one ballot assigned for them, they will have to contain us. So they should know that they should print within the quantity that they are giving them. If they say you should print 1,000, just print your 1,000 and have your piece. If you go and print 1,001, you will contain us in your printing house.
Dr. Tanko, at this point when you have signed for the notices for the printing of the notice of poll, and you've also okay with what the EC is saying they are going to do, the EC has clarified that it's just the notice of polls. Are you now going to release your agents to go for the training as the EC is calling for?
Oh, very well. That one there, we are good to go for that one. We've already even given them our list of agents who are going to come and monitor and supervise the printing of the notices of poll. And they acknowledge receipt at the meeting this morning with them. They did acknowledge that yes, they receive our letter containing our agents and our supervisors. Our opponents, they don't have. I won't talk for them. They don't even have. As we speak now, they couldn't send their list. You see, these are the things we are talking. They are not ready for governor. They are tired. It's now 2 months for them to leave office. So they are very tired. We are serious-minded people. We know what we are about. We already presented our list, and they are good. Now that we have signed off the notice of poll, if they correct the other people colors and pictures, fair enough. The printing can start. Our agents will be there at the printing house.
Dr. Tanko, can you let us know who some of these agents are? The agents you have sent to the EC.
That one there. When you go to the printing houses, you see them. They will be there. Top notch, dedicated, high class people who are going to monitor everything that they do in there.
Well,
you will see them there.
We'll see them there. Well, Dr. Tanko, we are joined by Kweku Kwashi. He is with the NPP, an MPP communications member and a governance spokesperson at the Ministry of Finance. Kweku, you are welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, my sister.
Kweku, has the NPP...
quite clearly, but I think I felt it was a bit faint.
Okay, I would do well to speak up so you can hear me better. Dr. Rashid Tanko, who is the Deputy Director for Elections and IT, is also on the call. He says that the NDC has signed for the printing of the notices of poll. Has MPP also signed?
I didn't hear that well.
Dr. Rashid Tanko says that he's coming from a meeting with the EC where the NDC has signed for the printing of the notices of poll. Has the MPP also signed to that effect?
Well, I'm yet confirmed that I believe it will be done. Once everything is in order and we are fine with everything, I believe in no time that should be done.
Kweku, are you confident in the EC's work up until this point to run a very credible and transparent election?
Thank you. I think that we should all understand that when it comes to transparency of elections, NPP as a party has been at the forefront of calling for transparency. Remember, way back in 1992, we started with opaque ballot boxes, with the people who called for transparent ballot boxes because we want transparency. We're the same party that called for the biometric, devices to ensure that people don't do double registration and so on. And so, when it comes to transparency, we stand for transparency. Now, so far, from what the EC is doing, and the last time they had the IPAC meeting, you saw the EC IT director actually taking the pains to go through, step by step, explaining the processes that happens, at the EC. And I think that by and large, and we're also very, 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 very watchful with a keen eye. We are watching all that goes on at the EC, just like the NDC. And we think that so far, what has been put in place, we're quite, satisfied, and believe that the EC will, as always, run a very credible, fair elections to the satisfaction of everybody, be you a loser or a winner.
The NDC says that it seems in all of these conversations about the EC, they have been the one to whip the EC in line. They have been the one to direct the EC on the right path, and that Ghanaians should applaud them for this job well done. NPP, what are you also doing in making sure that the EC follows a good road? Because NDC is very confident that they are the ones who are at the moment gatekeeping the work of the Electoral Commission ahead of the elections.
On the contrary, my sister, I disagree with that. The NDC are only acting in accordance with the grand plan to create doubts in the minds of Ghanaians, to create doubts in the minds of their following, for the impending defeats that they will face in the coming elections. It is a grand plan. Quite recently, they raised many issues with the EC. When the EC gave the provisional register to every party, they raised issues. The EC gave the platform on live TV for you to come and explain your issues and present to everybody what you have. We saw the disgrace that happened there. We saw how the elections director came there with absolutely nothing. You understand me? We saw how the EC took its time to explain things to the satisfaction of almost everybody there except the NDC. The platform was given for you to prove to Ghanaians what you were asking, or what you were proposing, or what you were complaining about. That platform was given, and you never took advantage of it. You had nothing to show. It was mere talk. It was mere noise, precisely noise to create doubts in the minds of their following. Listen, the NDC realizes that they are losing the election on policy. When it comes to policy, up till now, John Mahama and the NDC haven't been able to explain one single policy coherently to any Ghanaian. And they see that they are losing the elections on policy, especially when Dr. Muhammad Madu Bawumia started his campaign, explaining simple policies to people. They've seen that the ground is shifting towards MPP. So the only way is to now create doubts in the minds of Ghanaians. In fact, to the extent that their flag bearer is insulting the clergy, is insulting chiefs and so on, it's part of a grand agenda. But Ghanaians have seen through all of that. And Ghanaians are waiting and waiting to be in line and make sure that the good policies of this government are continued by Dr. Muhammad Bawumia. And again, he will also have his own vision, to build on the Ghana, that we all desire. So personally, we don't believe that if an NDC is not calling EC to do anything right, they're only shouting. Don't forget that it is the NPP in government. It is government that's resourcing the EC. So whatever they are doing to make sure there's transparency, to make sure things are smooth, to make sure things are convenient, is being funded by government. So we're actually doing more than NDC can claim.
Dr. Tanko.
Yes.
You are sending your agents to the EC. You are telling us that when we go to the printing press, we'll see them there. Are we to look out for making sure that what happened in 2020 doesn't happen again, with stories about drinking tea and all? 2020, we heard stories about drinking tea when you sent your agents. In 2024, should we expect that this does not repeat itself?
Before I answer that, let me tell my good friend, Cotton, anytime he's coming to speak on air, he should clear from his party leaders. It appears he doesn't understand what they are doing. He's speaking from his own mind. Since yesterday, he should have been following the discussion on this ballot printing and the notices of polls, so that he doesn't come on air and talk differently from what his party is doing. If he doesn't know, as of yesterday, his own party were in support of our position at the Electoral Commission. We nearly had a joint press together.
What changed? What changed? What changed?
The issue about the ballot printing. When the EC wrote the letter and said,
no, you are saying you nearly had a joint press, and I'm asking what changed.
Yes, I'm saying the press was that the thing was that we wanted the press to know that instead of interviewing us separately, we could just stand together and let them know that this is our position as political parties, that we are not going to accept the printing of the ballot press when they don't have the statistics. Unless the statistics is ready, and then the register to is ready, then we can go ahead. And even the issue of the notice of poll. Yesterday, they wanted the agents to go there and authenticate it. We stopped it and told them that is not a procedure. We needed to have a meeting today. We will look at it as leaders of the party and sign up on it before. So when he's speaking, he should always refer to his party leadership. He shouldn't come and speak with his mind. And secondly, he's talking of the IPAC meeting. I don't know whether he was watching. He was watching the Chinese movie or what.
Dr. Tanko, if you say that he is watching a Chinese movie, that will not be a fair.
I'm saying that when he was speaking, I was quiet. Let him be a gentleman.
It's not true.
Let him be a gentleman. I was quiet. I could have intervened in what he was talking. When we went for the IPAC meeting,
Dr. Tanko,
he should ask his people.
Dr. Tanko,
IPAC meeting.
Dr. Tanko, before you continue, I believe that saying that he was watching a Chinese movie is not in good taste, and I believe you would like to withdraw that.
Well, let me tell you, when he was speaking and referring that my boss came there and we had nothing, we were just fooling people over there. That they gave a platform for us to talk and we didn't take advantage. Who gave us a platform? That's why whether he was watching a Chinese movie. Was that a platform
Dr. Tanko,
to come and demonstrate to the world?
Dr. Tanko.
Didn't you watch it? You were a media man. You were there. Didn't you see? Was a platform meant for NDC to come and demonstrate to the whole world that these are our evidence?
But Dr. Tanko, and the NDC had the opportunity to take the microphone and speak.
Yes, and when we spoke at that day, didn't you see? Why is the Electoral Commission changed from their old ways of doing things to now saying that we are giving you a new revised provisional register? When they were clapping for them, the Electoral Commission were not interested in the clap because they knew that our register was not credible. And now they are giving a revised provisional voter register, not the old one. It's through the NDC initiative that they had to abandon that one. Didn't the Electoral Commission admit that they were removing the 243,000 old transfers that they've added to the register? Was he watching some movie somewhere? If you don't want the Chinese to prove the Chinese, he was watching a movie.
You couldn't prove anything, Dr. Tanko.
We couldn't prove it, but the Electoral Commission removed it. If we don't prove it,
how couldn't prove anything.
I said we didn't prove, but Electoral Commission removed it. How did they remove it?
You could not prove that somebody was.
You could not prove something. The man was watching Chinese movie. He was not watching what was going on there.
You couldn't prove anything.
When the Electoral Commission, the illegal transfers, that occasion in Pusiga and all that, who brought it out? Was it MPP who brought it? Was it MPP who spoke about the illegal transfer of goods? What is this gentleman talking about? When they were talking of the corrupt files they admitted and said their system, most of the files were corrupt and they had to create even a new register known as missing voters list, amounting to about 1,551. Where did they get it from?
And did those corrupt files go to anyone's advantage?
When they are doing issues, go and watch take your time and listen to it carefully.
Did that go to anyone's advantage?
Today, as we speak now, they are bringing what is called another provisional register. The Electoral Commission is bringing another provisional register. And they are asking that we should look at it and even come with a template. If there are issues with the register, we use the template and bring it for them to correct. Then when you are talking to people like that, they must know that we are serious-minded people, not Chinese movie watchers.
We are equally serious-minded.
You don't come and say things like that.
That EC is doing something to help some party. You couldn't prove that.
I am telling you that, brother, don't say that we didn't have evidence. I am saying that evidence has forced the Electoral Commission to abandon their own
evidence. Somebody is
and brought a new one.
You have no evidence of bloatedness. There was no such evidence.
We don't have evidence, yet they have changed. Our evidence, we don't have evidence, yet they have changed. Yet they are running away from their old register and they are coming to a new provisional register. They are doing another exhibition.
As far as I'm concerned.
We don't have evidence. So those things,
it is
those evidence that Electoral Commission are using to change the register, is it coming from MP?
Well, Dr. Tanko, away from that, I was asking that. Dr. Tanko.
And I'm saying that anytime he wants to speak, let him refer to his party leaders. They will brief him well before he comes.
Dr. Tanko.
He's speaking differently from the position of their leaders.
Dr. Tanko.
I'm speaking based on questions I'm being asked.
Dr. Tanko, I was asking that in 2020, we had issues about drinking tea from your agents. We are moving into 2024, where now you are allowing your agents to go and supervise. Dr. Tanko, my question is that what is the NEC going to do to make sure that what happened in 2020 does not repeat itself in 2024? Because you have said that you are putting all your things in place.
I'm saying that you are not talking to Dr. Tanko, is that not it?
I am talking to Dr. Tanko.
Was it the one you were talking to?
So are you saying that the one who was there in 2020 didn't do a good job?
That is why we are saying that you have seen enough that this current NDC is ready for power.
So the former NDC was not ready for power.
I am saying that please listen and listen attentively. I am saying that we are ready for power. If things did not go well for us in 2020, that doesn't mean that we didn't do our part. The party did its part in 2020. We did all that we could. Don't forget, if you want us to go to history, we will tell you how they rigged the election. And your program will not end here. I will demonstrate to you, even today's meeting, we indicated to them that the issue of the statement of poll, that is the Form 8A and B, we have to sign off on it before they go to the printing house. You saw the kind of things they printed up those days. And we are saying that issues that happened in 2020, everybody has learned his lessons, albeit the bitter way. We have learned our lessons from the 2020, yet things did not go the way we wanted it. But we have moved on. Our people did their best in 2020. The officers in charge, they did their best at that time and managed everything they could to let us win. Unfortunately, this electoral commission rigged the election for the NPP, and I have evidence to prove it that the election was rigged properly.
Dr. Tanko, what's the evidence?
I'll give you evidence. What evidence do you want? When you go to a polling station and then you go and vote, Nanado will get 700 votes and your mama will get 2 votes. What type of voting is that?
Dr. Tanko,
does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you?
Kweku, Dr. Tanko says that
we have 9 executives plus 2 party agents. Put them together, 11. And you mean the NDC could not garner 11 votes from their polling station?
But Dr. Tanko, you don't get into the box with each member of the party.
Let's not go back to 2020. You want us to see what is going on here. And I'm saying that we have trained our agents. We are confident that the agents have learned their lessons from the 2020 episode. They know what happened. And this time, look, that's why we are saying posterity is the best teacher. And experience is the best teacher as well.
Well, Kweku, so you need Dr. Tanko, let me go to Kweku.
We have learned our lessons, and we have done what is expected of us. And I can assure you, this year election, if NPP they get 40%, they have tried.
Wow, Kweku, Dr. Tanko says that if NPP gets 40% in this year's elections, you have tried, because in the last elections, the EC rigged the elections for you.
My sister, so Dr. Tanko is exhibiting what is typical of the NDC. He just made allegations of some rigging somewhere without evidence. The very same thing they went to do on live TV for all of us to see in this country. See, let me tell you, a credible, free and fair elections is even more important to the EC than to NDC or MPP. Why do I say this? Imagine that there are improper transfers. Say I'm in Tema West. I go to my polling station to go and vote, and say 400 people have been transferred from there to say Northwest region. Someone goes to Oti region, and 1,000 have been transferred to Northern region. Somebody goes to Ashanti, 2,000 have been transferred to Volta region. Imagine the chaos in this country. So the EC is very much aware of this, and I believe they know this, and are working to make sure that things are in the right places.
Would they have done it?
In fact, in all the allegations that NDC raised recently, right? If you remember, there was a high court in Kumasi that actually ordered the EC to, take back some transfer that was done in favor of the NDC. And so far, in all the allegations they've raised, the baseless allegations they've raised, there hasn't been one single one that has been proven to be in the favor of the NPP. Not one. Pusiga itself is a stronghold of the NDC. Those transfers happen in the Pusiga. Who was it for? Right? Who was it for? Who was the benefit? So far, even though they keep accusing the EC of being an MPP person, everything that has been shown so far is to their benefit and not to the MPP. So I'm saying this. Everybody is ready for the elections. We are also ready. as we've been every time. We are vigilant. We train our people. And every ballot will be counted. Nobody will be disenfranchised. Every single ballot will be counted to the last one. And what God has ordained, what God has said, cannot be changed by anybody. Be you NPP, be an EC, be you an EC, who's NDC or NPP, it cannot happen. My sister, we all know that Charlotte Fair is NDC. Mahama bought Charlotte Fair. But what happened? Once the people vote and counting is done, nothing can be changed. Nothing can be changed. So, for us as a party, we are selling our policies, and Ghanaians are buying into those policies. I mentioned earlier, the NDC and their flag bearer up until this day haven't been able to explain one single policy. It's totally incoherent. They can't stand on it, and they see our flag bearer giving simple, workable, visionary policies that is swaying people in our favor, and that's why they're making the noise. But yes, for assurance of everybody, we are also working to make sure that we are vigilant, there's transparency, no one cheats anybody. So if he's saying that, if MPP does anything, we're also telling them the NDC shouldn't try anything funny, because we are equally eagle-eyed. Equally eagle-eyed.
You are equally eagle-eyed. Let me go back to Dr. Tanko. Dr. Tanko, your national chairman has said that the NDC will meet squarely any act of discrimination against people crossing into the country via land to vote. And he said this in Ziope, in the Agotime Ziope constituency, which lies on the Ghana-Togo border. And he's questioning the intentions of the Ropal law, which has been passed by the NPP up until the elections. And he's saying that you are going to resist. Obviously, people in another country people who are not Ghanaians cannot vote in our elections. But then there are Ghanaians in the border towns. When you say resist, what do you mean by resist?
Before that, do you transfer votes to your stronghold? I'm asking you. If you have a stronghold, do you go and transfer votes to that stronghold again? To do what? If Pusiga is our stronghold, why would NDC transfer votes to Pusiga again? That's what I'm saying. Some of these things they speak, they don't understand the process. You are illegally transferring votes to show up your numbers in Pusiga. It's the same Pusiga that we arrested you. Your officers were using fake Ghana cards to register people. When we talk about it, NIA quickly rushed there and said they were registering people along the border.
When you say your officers, are you speaking about EC or the NPP?
By electoral commission and NPP, I don't know the same.
Dr. Tanko, I thought we had gone past that in our last conversation.
He said, I'll give you evidence to show you that they are the same group. Look, we are saying that they transfer illegal voters. This is illegal transfer. Pusiga is our stronghold. How come are you saying that NDC is transferring votes to Pusiga? How can you do that? Who transfer votes? Will you transfer votes to Manchester? MPP.
There was an issue with Manchester South where the judge ruled that.
I am saying that is why I'm saying that Manchester South, the issue, you see, he's shifting the goalpost, and he seems not to get what we are talking about. The issue about the Manchester South one he's talking about, it's not about illegal transfer. He's talking about a transfer. The people they transferred there was occasion that somebody is saying that they have not lived up to that number of months they are supposed to live in that constituency. That is why they are challenging the transfer.
Well, Dr. Tanko, let me bring you back. Let me bring you back to the question I asked.
I'm saying that let me answer him. He was saying that NDC has been transferring people to Pusiga, and I'm asking him, who does that? Who transfer voters to his stronghold? If not an opponent who will want to show up his number, that will go and be looking for votes somewhere to bring it to that constituency. And they were illegal. Yeah. They were doing illegal transfers because those people didn't even know that they were transferring their votes out.
Well, Dr. Tanko, let me bring you back. Let me bring you back to the conversation. Yes, the border issue.
The border that you are talking of. You see, people live in Togo, and they are Ghanaians. People live in Ivory Coast, they are Ghanaians. People live in Togo, they are Ghanaians. Just like people who live in America, London. Go to London and see. We have a whole community, which is Ghana community. Ghanaians. And they will come down to vote come December. They have voter IDs. Some of them, they came down and registered. Are you going to stop them at the airport when they arrive? Just because they are coming from America or Britain, you want to stop them from voting? It's the same way we are telling them. They shouldn't think that people who live around borderlines are not Ghanaians. There are Ghanaians who are living in those communities. They have voter ID. They are registered voters. And so you had opportunity to challenge them during the registration. If we did not challenge them during the registration and they passed through the process, all right, and then got into the register, and then when it gets to election time, you cannot stop them. That's why our national chairman was saying, these are eligible voters who are Ghanaians residing across the borderline. And then, so when it's time for election, they have every right to cross over to their mother country and vote. That is what he's saying. The law allows that. And we are saying that if an overzealous officer who will sit there and want to prevent people like that from voting, won't take it. Won't take it. That will be illegal.
Well, you won't take it because that will be illegal. Well, Dr. Tanko, we'll be looking at this conversation again, especially in the lead to the elections. Kweku, before you go, is the NPP well organized ahead of the elections? Have you put everything in place to make sure that you go in the elections well prepared?
My sister, you asked my brother a question about some foreigners, those who are outside the country will come and vote. Let's be clear about this. NPP is a democracy promoting party. We believe in democracy, and so nobody will be disenfranchised. In so long as you fall within the law, nobody will be prevented from doing anything. It's so all the declarations, all these accusations are still part of the grand plan to throw dust in the eyes of their following. To raise doubts in the minds of Ghanaians. Instead of focusing on policy, they just raise allegations. That's what they're doing. Everybody will have the chance to vote. Once you have to vote, you have a chance to vote, and nobody will prevent anybody.
Well, so if you're saying NDC is throwing dust into the eyes of Ghanaians, how about the government ramp up the education of what should be happening around that time, so that people are clear in their minds that the government is not seeking to disenfranchise any voter who may come through the voter Togoland?
It is ongoing. Education is ongoing. NCC is working. It is ongoing. And the fact that somebody who hasn't heard that's happening in all those towns, it's ongoing everywhere. And as you asked, listen, NPP is ready for these elections. As we have always been ready. We are ready, we'll be vigilant, we'll make sure there's free and fair elections, we'll count every ballot, nobody will be disenfranchised. NPP is fully ready for elections. So rest assured, we are doing everything that a party has to do, a party that has a plan, a party that has a positive strategy has to do to make sure that we win the elections. We are doing that, and we win it fair and free and square.
Okay. You win it fair, free, and square. Thank you for speaking with us, Kweku.
Thank you, my sister.